she's like, how would you guys interpret this? First of all, she's never driven the RV. But second of all, she's like, no, but that's fine. You can go. It's your birthday weekend. You can go.
I would interpret that as, okay, I'm going to go race my bike.
Okay, and how would your marital bed be upon your return?
I would have an RV.
There's always the RV.
There's always the RV.
I misunderstood.
No, she's going to have the RV. We're doing a camping week that week.
Oh,
So I would be
we need the whole
completely-
story there,
Yeah,
Pat.
that's the thing is Friday? Can you hear me? No. That's because you were muted last time.
There we go.
I think we leave Friday or Saturday.
Uh-huh.
And we are there until the next Saturday, I think. Something like that, isn't it? You know the week better than I do,
Yeah, I even have it in my calendar.
Yeah.
Chatter amongst yourselves while I pull it up. Yep.
Wait, so did
So
we ever find
this
out
is
the
a
other
camping
answer?
trip that you planned on.
Yes.
Okay.
I do have
Before the announcement.
I do have Sunday to Sunday.
Oh,
In
Sunday
my
to
calendar.
Sunday. So I could technically go and race Saturday. Just do one day.
Did we find out about the Friday?
No.
I don't see any text. Okay.
That's funny. He just sent us all an email
Yeah.
so we
He did.
could reply to it.
And he said only one of you assholes signed up.
He has not. I don't know if he knows, even though we're live right now. He's probably listening and he probably is learning this, but only
His
if he
name
listens
is
to the
Ryan.
live
You
stream.
can use his name.
Well,
Ryan, I
thought
support
we were,
you.
I thought we were being vague enough that
Oh.
that person wouldn't know that we were talking about something that is not.
Well, he is a promoter of the race we are talking about.
Yes,
So, yeah,
but
I think
now,
it's okay.
now you're spilling the beans that some of us might not attend.
Oh,
See?
gotcha. Yeah.
Inadvertently,
Next time, have a flip chart so we can get a flow
inadvertently,
thing going
you
on.
two just threw me under the bus.
Right under the bus.
I don't think it was inadvertent.
It wasn't.
No.
You know,
That was planned.
they were just playing.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Shit,
Nice hair.
Thanks.
it is. You got kind of that soccer player look going on.
Sam does it for me.
Yeah.
He
There we
does?
go.
I do cut his hair.
All right, I'm going to start a little podcast. The spring season continues. Gosh darn, it's hot. Everyone rode this week. Well, Sam, however, did not. Dauphine is underway. The tour oh so near. I'd be racing the tour if it wasn't for beer. And genetics and focus and a lot of other reasons. But welcome to episode 482 of the longest standing podcast in the sport of cycling, the one and only Packfiller Cycling Podcast. Think of it as a post-ride beer with several friends and one asshole. I am potentially that asshole. My name is Pat Bulger. Jack, by the way, already chimed in on the fact that he wants to be here for the 500th episode. I don't know if he's earned it.
Yeah.
I know he's going to do that race that we weren't supposed to mention
Oh, he
by
is?
the promoter that you didn't want us to mention.
You think he's
That
really
you-
going to do it?
No, yeah, he's going to do it. He was supposed to do a race, a crit,
Okay.
but he's got a bad hip from some 24-hour mountain bike race.
Oh, okay. And we are all back. If you couldn't tell already, birthdays were celebrated, family time enjoyed, Benedito's beers are poured. So let's get to this show on the road. Let's meet tonight's character, shall we, with our scratch prologue. Gentlemen, what is your white trash trait? Something that you do that could be classified as white trash. Okay, I gave you a second to think about it. First and foremost, he's a hard man. Mr. Paul Main, how are you, man?
I don't know about that first part.
Dude, I watched you on Saturday this week. I was going to talk about it in a little bit, but we were going to do a long ride. He was going to turn around early. He had 2 small water bottles, 90-degree heat, no food, and he's coming off of the injury. And I just watched you just kind of disintegrate, but your spirit kept your body intact. This
Is why he's so crusty.
It was. He added a layer of crust on Saturday.
No, not really.
It was so God. It was just. I watched you just going, dude, are you okay? Can I borrow some food?
Yeah, that was
Sure, man.
That was done.
So, how are you?
Good.
How's the recovery? Everybody wants to know.
Well, the guy to my right,
Yeah.
his name is Sam.
Yeah.
He's seen me once, and then another person saw me once. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I've been faithful. I haven't today, but what Alex has given me a program I've been following up.
You're doing the
on,
work.
so, yeah, doing
Right
the work
on.
because I want it fixed. And then speaking of Jack, he texted me, asked how things were going, and I said pretty good. And he says he has a PT friend, so I'm going to ask Sam this question. He says the difference between from injury to total recovery is 8 weeks, no matter what you do. Is that true?
Yeah, pretty much.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's
like
just perfect for that race that I wasn't supposed
No,
to
we
mention.
can talk about it now.
Oh, okay. EPO. So now I can sign up
We
for
got to
it.
promote the shit
Yeah.
out of it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that is. I mean, that is
All right.
true. I forget the term that it is, but it is something like it's how long something will take to heal. Like, everything has its standard, and very generally speaking, 8 weeks is
That's
a good number.
that's like building a habit, though, too.
Yeah,
building
probably.
a habit.
Building strength takes
quitting
6 weeks,
alcohol.
so-
Building your weed tolerance.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah, all of it.
Longer erections. Wait, sorry, Paul.
Yeah, it's back to me.
What's
yeah.
your white trash trait?
I think farts are the funniest thing in the world. I
just
still
being
to this
human.
day, there's
Just being a dude.
no. It's I actually follow this guy Gilstrap, and he's this fat. He always looks like a guy that would like grease. He has a fart machine. It's the greasy, wet,
Yeah.
and he always like, pardon me. I'm picking Browns for the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah,
and that
yeah.
type of thing.
Okay.
And I just laugh every time. And it's usually the people's reaction because he's so believable that he's doing this. They're just like, oh no.
You guys want to find something? You guys want to find out something pretty cool?
Yeah, you got one of those?
Oh no, are you gonna do it?
Alexa, fart for me.
That was a funky one.
I also heard Alexa play a ketchup fart.
Here comes a ketchup fart.
Oh.
That's what his farts are like. They're ketchup
Yeah.
farts. Yeah.
Alexa, stop. These introductions.
So that's
are
my
gonna take
wife,
forever.
white trash.
Your white trash.
I will laugh every time somebody farts.
All right.
Here, pull my finger. Watch.
No, Paul was a
okay.
hard man. Second of all, he's a fast man. Mr. Jackson Bulger. Jesus Christ, he spent the week just riding us off his wheel. It's like, oh, you guys back on?
Here we go
You guys
again.
back on?
Yeah. Here's another interval.
God bless it. How are you, dude?
I'm good, thanks.
Did I say your name? Did I say Mr. Jackson Bulger? Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
No.
What's your white trash trait?
I don't think it's white trash.
Jorts.
No,
Jesus.
not at all. Because
Those are back, bro.
yeah, because I've got taste.
That's true.
Yeah.
I can't disagree.
I don't think it's white trash though, but a lot of people will say it's white trash. I really
Taco
like
Bell.
country music.
Oh.
Yeah, that's white trash.
Yeah.
A lot of people say it is. I don't think it is, but
Okay.
I do like
Depends
it.
on the country music, but there's a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot out there, and I like it.
If it ain't outlaw country, it's just never mind. I can't do it because I know you get mad at me. Hard man, fast man. He's a climber man. Mr. David Waples. How are you, man?
Doing quite well.
Climbed Mount Spokane this weekend, and nobody forced you to do it.
Nope, completely voluntary. Even woke up at 5:30 to do it.
Jesus, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do you hear yourself in your own headphones?
Yeah.
Are you when you're far away from the mic like that? Do you sound as good as I do when I'm up to the mic like this?
No, but loud and clear. Either way.
What's your white trash trait, David?
I feel like I say tryna and gonna too much. Like,
Do you?
yeah, especially in professional settings. I'll like use it in like an epic chat or something to another doctor, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm trying to do this thing, and I'm gonna."
So you
do
spell
this.
it out in a chat
like
that?
TRYNA.
Yeah, you spell it out.
GUNNA. Yeah, it's probably not trying to gonna. Yeah.
I don't think that's bad.
I wish I had a banjo song. Today on Redneck Doctor.
Trying to gonna.
I'm trying to save your life, but I'm just gonna cut it off. All right. He's a hard man. He's a fast man. He's a climber man. He's an asshole. No, I'm kidding. Don't tell anybody. But when I say this, but he's a good man, Mr. Sam Waples. I heard about what you did for Jackson's wife this weekend, stuff like that. And you're just ruining your reputation.
Well, that's why I keep it on the down low.
Okay. All right. Sam, how are you?
I am good. Yeah.
How you
I'm
feeling?
Recovering.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I just dug myself a bit of a hole there to get out of that. So I've gotten some sleep and I've eaten some food and now I'm ready to go.
All right. What's your white trash trait?
I think that like me just everything that I do and I'm like, that'll do.
That'll do?
Yeah, that'll do. That'll hold.
How
It's like good enough.
How many times you guys secured something and said to yourselves,
That's not going
that
anywhere.
ain't going anywhere? You do it? You do it? Does everybody do it? Paul, you don't do it?
No.
Really?
Because I don't rig things up that way.
You don't
I have to
you
do
don't-
it properly.
But you don't say to yourself that's not going anywhere?
He doesn't
No.
need any reassurance.
He
He
knows he's
just
going
doesn't
anywhere.
walk away.
Yeah. No.
When you're walking to the barbecue with your tongs, do you snap them together once or twice before you get to the barbecue?
Oh no, I do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you pick up a drill,
Yeah, yeah.
A couple
Yep.
times.
Now you're talking my talk.
Yeah, there we go. All right, I'm Puffy Man, and it's not because I'm fat. I'm Pat Bulger, and it's not as bad as it was yesterday. I'm puffy because of my biggest white trash trait. I got stung by a bee in the wrist earlier this weekend, and yesterday it kind of looked like I was wearing a human flesh glove. It was just kind of puffy and really not very attractive. Yeah, I went full Buffalo Bill on it, Yeah, that's a Silent
your
Lines
epi?
reference. I didn't do the epi, and because I was just like, it'll probably just
$300
itch and be puffy.
I'm not
Yeah,
doing it. Yeah.
exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was just like, well, I'll see. I'm okay still.
and your
We're
whole
fine.
face is swollen. You're like,
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, the last major stings I've received where I needed the epi was, one stung me in the back of the throat and the other one stung me in the tongue.
That'll happen.
Yeah, when your tongue is the size of a football, you're like,
It's tough.
maybe I should take some for this.
Oh, yeah, I remember when I got stung in the lip, and I'm like it was on a bike.
Oh,
I'm trying to drink
God.
water, and the water just keeps running
Yeah,
out of my mouth.
Did you even do Benadryl?
No.
Wow.
I
Next
have
time.
some. I have some little.
Well, I
little-
shouldn't be telling you.
Yeah.
As a doctor.
I have some little sting kit patches in my closet that I opened it up and took it out, and it was like neon bright green. It was really scary looking. I figured it probably had a ton of aloe on it or something.
Did it
like
come with your air dam or mouth snore?
that. No, it didn't.
Mouthpiece.
Actually,
free
it didn't.
gift
This
with
one.
it?
This one.
Oh, okay.
I bought this. I think at a legitimate, like Rite Aid.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
some guy
real.
in a trailer selling snake oil.
Yeah, but I rubbed it on there and it immediately stopped hurting right as the stinger was in there. So it was like, wow, okay, that feels good. So, and then I was like, fine. I'm like, okay, I'm working around the house. I should be okay. And by the way, the thing that makes me white trash was I was working on my above ground pool.
That is
Yeah.
white
Which is
trash.
white trash.
Yep.
We call it the Redneck Riviera.
I think it's trashy if you don't make it look good.
How do you make an above ground pool
You
look
put
good?
glowy balls in it.
I
Yeah.
do put glowy shit in it.
You
yeah.
landscape.
Yeah. Do you have does your grass die around it?
Well, but
Not underneath it. But
We put like wood slats around it, but the grass is kind of growing over the wood slats right now, so it's not very good. And you can't weed whack right next to an above ground pool. You
Because?
next thing you know, it's Michelle and I are
Swimming down
reenacting
the
a scene
river.
from Titanic. Yeah, so we don't do that, but I have an above ground pool.
That's
It's pretty white trashy.
white trash.
It's really nice when you come home from a ride though,
Yeah.
and
It
just
is.
basically walk right into it.
Oh, really? You don't shower before?
No.
I'm not going in that thing.
Dude, I have a saltwater
There's enough,
system on
yeah.
this thing, that converts.
Your body sweat.
I'm not joking. I dumped this weekend 200 pounds of salt into that pool.
Whoa.
That's pretty
And what
rad.
it does is you dilute this, the salt disintegrates into the water, and then it goes into the pump, and it actually there's this device that converts it into chlorine, and it just is a constant circle. I don't have to chlorinate the whole year because of it.
And it stays clean.
It
the whole
stays
time.
crystal clear all summer long, and
That's
I
how I
check
do my
constantly.
turkeys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
just
just
dump them in
brine
salt.
it. Yeah.
I basically, it's not only white trash, but it is a perfect brining system. Should we ever switch to cannibalism?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Is it just me, or does this week, by the way, moving on, feel like a return to normality?
Yeah.
In what way?
It just, the last couple weeks, in regards to the show, in regards to the calendar, in regards to running all over the place, it's just been blah.
Chaos.
Yeah.
And it just seems like this week it's like, okay.
Regroup.
Like, for example, we went this past weekend on a group ride. And I think, even though it was just the three of us, I think it was the first group ride I've been on.
Since March?
Yeah.
Probably.
Was it?
Maybe.
April.
Early April,
April,
I think, yeah.
The last 7 weeks for Sam and I, only one of those was not a race week. So 6 of those were race weekends.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's no time to do group rides or anything,
Yeah.
yard work or whatever.
Paul, what made you not turn around early on what was supposed to be? We did 60 plus And Paul was like, okay, I'm going to find an early bail, and then I'm going to turn around. And you didn't.
Yeah.
What?
with the boys?
What crossed your mind? What crossed your mind?
Because it was the first group ride since like March, April. So I didn't want to give it up. No, I mean, I not that I felt good. I knew I was going to get hit by the man with the hammer.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think that I'm just stupid to the point where sometimes I just want to be in that miserable state for a while.
It's a nice feeling.
You know?
Fair enough.
It's, you know, if I can get through this, I can get through anything. And it was, I'm not back. I mean, I was surprised of what my limitations were. I mean, I just felt like after that crash, after getting home, I felt like, man, that crash kind of took the wind out of my sails. I mean, because it wasn't that fast, but man, the impact was so hard. And, you know, I kept like, I should be a lot further than, you know, I've only been off the bike for 3 weeks. So it shouldn't feel like this. But man, it took, and it wasn't, I didn't have breathing problems. You know, I could feel the impact, but that wasn't it. It's just, you know, the legs felt okay, but it's just like I had the flu.
Yeah.
You know, type thing. So
Yeah.
I never thought I'd get to the phase where, 2 weeks off, you wouldn't think 2 weeks off would be that big of a deal.
Well,
Middle of race season.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too. I think more because I've had 2 weeks off because of obligations and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think this injury was such a big one. You know, the impact was so big that I think it just kind of set me back a little bit. My body's in shock or something. That's what it felt like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, dehydrated all the time. Strange.
Really?
Don't know why.
I'm just
you
drinking.
drink like 20 ounces of
No,
water.
my bottles were. Rarely do I go through that much water. I drink constant. I've been drinking constant. My lips were cracked, like in the
He's
first
like-
week and stuff.
he's
And I
like-
was drinking, like
You're like looking for each
internal
drop.
bleeding.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Well, my poop's black. What does that mean?
No, no.
Yeah.
It's GI
Just
bleed.
dehydration.
Yeah,
Just dehydration.
Don't
You're
worry
like
about it.
spitting foam.
I'm over it now. But there was a lot of verbal lashing.
Really?
Yeah, I was flogging myself like
Oh.
cattails.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard me up coming out of that canyon and stuff because you were up ahead of me. And I was like, "Fuck!
Well-
are you fucking kidding me?"
That's rock bottom when Pat climbs faster than you. That's just like, I suck. I quit.
I was
do this
suffering so
anymore.
bad.
Yeah.
I was cross-eyed.
Oh man.
Anyway.
Speaking of which, Jackson, you're like Captain Consistent this year.
Trying to be.
He's trying to be. What's different this year?
I think last year I really showed myself like my potential and like what I could do, and I wanted to keep that going, and so I just tried. We talked about it last year, and all the time consistency has been the key. So just trying to achieve something, and I'm achieving second all the goddamn time right now.
God, I don't even. Oh, I want it so bad.
I think I figured out my key though, and stop me if I'm skipping to any of your questions, but I think I just gotta trust in my own ability. I think sometimes on these races, right at the end, I'm waiting to react to somebody else, and I think I have to let them react to me.
Mm-hmm.
Instigate a little more.
Yeah, I think I gotta instigate this week, and I think when it comes down to the exact same scenario that it's come down for the past 4 weeks,
Yeah.
I think I just have to. I think I have to be the instigator.
And I think that's important about weekly training races.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you do your discovery.
Yeah.
I mean, that type.
Mhm.
You're doing the right thing. You're finding the holes in your.
Yeah, and it's
in
like,
your
okay,
system,
that
so.
didn't work. How do I make this work? How do I beat that person?
Yeah.
Because I think we did something smart last week, and I think we made this person that I am constantly battling, that we are constantly battling with.
That you spit on? I'm
No.
just kidding.
No, not that guy.
We aren't bringing that up. I think the guy that we're constantly battling with, I think we made him work a little more, and I think that was
Yeah.
good. And so we tried something different, and I do think that it's been really fun to be at the front making it happen. It's been a
And
great
it's
time.
been really fun to have somebody that is that strong. You know, he was like on our ride home, he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I don't know if I'll race next week, or he was talking about all these other things. He's just like, he feels bad. He's like, I don't want people to hate me because I'm, winning. I'm like, no, you're just a really good sprinter. Like,
Yeah.
I want to beat you.
And you know what?
I want you to be there, and I want to see you.
It won't feel like a win if
Behind
he's not
us.
there.
I know.
No, it won't. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like
Bullshit.
no, it
No.
like
It
it
won't.
would.
You guys just grab the brakes and let me win and watch me celebrate.
No.
Yeah.
I'd be just like, it would be 24-hour dance party
Yeah.
at my house.
Everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah.
I know.
None of my wins at Riverside have felt like a win when that little 8th grader's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he's not there, I'm like, I didn't really win.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, I'm like, no, we will crush him.
Does he come up to you afterwards and say, "Nice ride, Mr. Waples"?
Nice ride, Mr. Waples. My balls haven't dropped yet.
It was so close last week, you guys.
You just, dude, here's the problem is he is okay with hurting you and you're not okay with hurting him.
Wait, how is he hurting you? Is he like,
Oh,
wow,
he like,
he just, you
we
get
were
out
like-
of sight of mom and
No,
dad
no,
and he
no,
becomes
no.
like Damien?
No,
Yeah.
he was this kid is he's really good. He's really strong, but he's also a really skilled mountain biker
Oh.
and a very tactical racer. So like going into the sprint for last weekend's mountain bike race, I kept trying to come around him, which it was a smart move on his part because I am more powerful. He's just better as a rider.
Yeah.
He would
Okay.
he would like, try to push me off the trail so I couldn't get around him. And I'm like, I'm not pushing back.
he's an 8th grader.
Oh,
You're an eighth
dude,
grader.
bury that shit. They think they're going to live forever at that age?
Yeah, and
Teach
he's
him
mostly
what-
made of rubber at that point.
Hook 'em.
Teach that little
Seriously.
fucker what a tree
Put him
tastes
into-
like.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I am not.
boy.
Did you see that granite rock?
I am
Get a
not.
close up.
He technically signed a waiver.
Yes.
Okay, here's the thing.
How's your dental insurance, prick?
Okay,
Watch this.
No, this is a lose-lose, you guys. Either I push him
is so
and he
horrible.
falls, and
Yeah.
I feel like a horrible human being because I pushed an 8th grader to win a Wednesday night mountain bike race.
Yeah.
Or I push him and he is better, and I fall and I break my new bike because I pushed an 8th grader at a Wednesday night mountain bike race. There is no winning.
Picture this.
No,
little,
there
this
is
little
winning.
kid coming across the line. He's just worked up the tears. He's like, Mom, he hurt
me.
Mr. Waples is the bad
Isn't he
man.
a doctor? Doesn't he have
Yeah.
some kind of oath or
when,
something?
when I was down,
Do no harm.
he touched me where my clothes cover.
It's escalated fast.
This did. Anyway, me. I actually, I do want to say that I rode the APAC last week.
You did
Done.
great.
Well done.
No, because
You were there.
No, here's the demon and the angel on my shoulders, right? The angel's like going, dude, you rode the A's, great job. The demon is going, weak little bitch, you missed the group. Everybody held back. Everybody was blocking. It was slow as fuck, and then you didn't even win the sprint.
And everybody laughed at you.
Yes, loser. Yeah. That's how I feel. And I'm just, so this week I'm racing A's again, and
Good.
on my shoulders, just going like, you're going to suck balls.
Nah.
Yeah.
No.
Isn't
No.
it better still? Like, wasn't it? I wasn't there, but you probably had more fun in that race, right?
Well, I wasn't there after everybody left starting my race. That was one of the biggest things. Is
Where did you guys go after that? Did you guys go to dinner?
we go eat.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
We went to South. We went
South
to
Perry
Pizza.
Pizza.
Yeah.
Right by my house. Saw your car there.
Oh.
I was riding home.
You should have come
Trick
up.
question.
Well, I didn't have an invite.
We can all
I'm
go
just
to the
kidding.
same.
I know that.
No, I'm
I-
saying
Yeah.
if we all drive, imagine if we all drove.
Yeah.
No.
Like
that's
normal
dumb.
people.
You just sit across the bar, though. You sit at the other end of the restaurant, though.
Yeah. I should have just walked in and just sat there and just like looked over you guys like all alone.
Yeah, querying.
Yeah.
Just in your salty kid.
Yeah.
Like a wet chihuahua shaking in the corner.
Nobody wants to sit next to me. Yeah, you smell like hell.
Yeah. Smell like
Ass.
And
ass.
tofu.
in tofu.
And a ketchup
Tofu's
fart.
coming out of your pores.
Yeah, no, that is the one good perk of driving. I do give you guys that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I kind of wanted to race the A's, is because, well, first of all, as I said last week, there are people who are racing the A's and then come down and race the B's and kick ass.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, why should I wait 45 minutes to race against the people I'm going to race with anyway?
Why wait 45 minutes to get your ass kicked?
Yeah.
When
Exactly. So I'll just get my ass kicked earlier and then go to dinner.
Should we try to sign up for the B's and do back to back?
I'm
Because I don't know if they'll let me.
I
But
don't
I'm-
No, because you're a cat too.
If you're a
I
Class
know,
three,
but
you
maybe they
can.
don't. Maybe they don't check that.
Here's
They-
the thing. They'd let me.
They'd let
Right?
Jackson.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're a 3.
Yeah.
I think we should try it.
Oh no.
No.
I honestly, I was a little worried about the B's now because when I look back at the start, there were 5 of them.
Yeah.
So that's-
Well,
Yeah.
just see the
Good.
C's.
No, was like
Two of
three,
them.
2 or 3. Yeah, it was 3. They had a full.
Oh, they did have a full podium?
Yeah. So
3.
yeah, guys. Speaking of which, what's next? It is so and
EPO.
I'm
Yeah.
okay.
Let's
Okay.
get back to this.
Some of us are shifting to endurance.
Mm-hmm.
I, for example, have a 75-mile gravel race this weekend.
What's that?
The Chafe.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's this weekend.
Yeah.
Is that a race?
No.
It has.
We have raced it.
Yeah, we have raced it.
You get
Was there a
You
podium?
get a number, right?
You get a
I
number.
was being an
Was there a
ass to
podium?
start this.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
There's not a podium.
No.
No
But
race.
I do agree with
No
you.
race.
It is a race because there is a number on your back and you better fucking win.
I'm not gonna win. God.
Come on.
So I'm doing that, and then 3 of us are going to BWR Montana, which is 112 miles and 8,000 feet of climbing.
5 of us.
Well, I'm talking 3 of us are riding. Oh, are you? Are
wives.
they riding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Wow.
Arrivee kits.
Which one are
Wow.
they riding?
Yeah.
The
They're riding the
They
40.
doing the big one?
the,
The
mid,
mini
middle,
waffle.
the middle waffle.
Mini wafer. I don't know
There's
what it
the
is.
wafer.
Oh, okay.
The waffle thin.
Yeah, wafer thin.
The waffle
waffle
thing.
Michelle, if you are watching this podcast, I want you to know that technically, well, she's going to use the dogs as an excuse. All right. What? Okay. First of all, the Belgian waffle. We can talk about that as we get closer to it. Do you guys have any expectations other than finishing?
I'm gonna rip David's legs off.
Okay, you're just gonna, abuse your brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
With all 9,000 feet, he's going to figure out how to whip my ass, yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere in those 9,000 feet, I'm gonna find a way
You're gonna find your little
to
niche.
stick a stick in his spokes.
What he's going to find is the cure to this common little problem that Newton came up with called gravity and conservation of mass. Sam is going to defy these in order to beat me.
All his weight's in his butt.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm thinking is going to happen at that thing, because I'm going to be slow and steady wins the race. I'm going to be just this like, okay, you guys, see you later. Go ahead, dick measure all you want, and then Sam's going to just hit the wall, and I'm just going to be like, do 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 do. Hey, Sam.
You know
And
what?
you're going to just be
Click your
sitting on
heels
the
when you go by.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, like your wife did to me, and I'm going to just pedal by. Hey, man, how you
should.
doing?
But also, that's what you thought it afraid of,
Yeah.
right?
Historically,
And he cracked.
Historically, though, one of us, I don't think
One of
we
us
have
will
ever
die.
done a race where one of us did not die.
Yeah. I died. He died. So, I guess it is my turn. So, yeah, that'll probably happen.
David, you've got this lofty goal of how many starts this year? 32. How's that going?
Well, I'm at 19, so decent.
Okay.
But the races are starting to dry up.
Yeah.
I'm like 5 or 4. I don't have. There's like 4 short on my calendar.
Wow.
So I have to find 4. But that could be that is 0 cross races.
Does that have you counted the gravel race in Riverside in October?
Didn't know that was happening.
That
I'm
might
3
be
short.
happening. Yeah.
Didn't know about that. So
So I know of a 3 event weekend. I'm just saying.
I think it's 2.
It's 3.
EPL.
Breck.
No.
No.
Oh, Breck Epic. Why are you trying to get me to do this?
It's expensive.
It is expensive.
I might. Yeah, we'll see.
They include a jersey, a custom jersey. I get
they
to
really?
pick the colors. Yeah.
You know what
Wait,
I
you
was?
gotta
How much
pick the
did you pay for
colors?
this?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you
exactly.
have to wear it during though?
No.
Oh,
I picked
that's
I
cool.
picked my own colors, and I got a long sleeve because I was like, my wife is like, whenever you go out in a short sleeve, you wear the team kit, so get a long sleeve. And I'm like, shit, good point. So I got a long sleeve.
You know what I was
Wow,
tempted by?
she is
Castelli.
really smart.
She is.
It's a Castelli
We should
jersey.
consult her
Yeah.
more often.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They had a 25% off coupon code that I could have given you guys, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You know what's tempting? And I'm
Riding
looking
the
at
Breck
Sam.
Epic?
No, actually more tempting than that. St. Louis Grand Prix.
Oh, let's go.
Okay. We're jumping ahead here. The racing
Crit
season
series.
locally is technically winding down.
Yep.
In 3 weeks, our local weeknight series, the Wednesday off-road series, and the Thursday Twilight series come to an end. Can we approach the topic again and how strange it is that at least regionally bike racing still comes down and cuts down drastically right when it should be kicking in? What is the fucking reason for this? I know we've all been like, and I'm not buying the soccer tournaments bullshit excuse anymore. Most bike racers are unattractive people who are probably either not married or married long enough that their wife just wants them to get the fuck out of the house.
Or completely destroyed their fertility with their seat.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I'm not buying this little Johnny soccer tournament anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that it's also something to do with the fact that it's been 95 degrees in June. Like, we're probably in for a real hell of a fire season here in July and August. Not trying to be pessimistic about it, but
Too late.
man, hard to be like a race promoter and promoting races that time of year. Because like last year was great that time of year, but this year it's probably going to be shit.
I think another potential, like, I'm like kind of burnt. I'm not burnt out. I'm enjoying racing, but like I'm at 19 starts, and I'm not bummed that July doesn't have a lot on the calendar.
On the weekday, but you would do weekend races. Yeah, I think you would do weekend races.
I would,
Like the 12th
but
and 13th would be ideal.
Yeah.
the 12th and 13th. I think
of July.
of July.
Yeah.
That might be a good weekend for racing. I'm
Yeah.
not quite sure.
Yeah.
Actually, I would like. I really enjoy the weeknight series because you can do it after work and then you can still have your weekends. But like I'm saying, we haven't had a weekend we had one weekend in the last 7 weeks. It was really nice to like have last weekend not to race bikes. So I do think there's a part of like all this early season stuff. People are kind of ready for a break. It just so happens that it's during perfect weather.
I think he's got a point.
I don't hate that point.
No, it's a great point for me. It's like I can afford one big race, out of town race,
Yeah.
or the commitment, not even financially. It's just a commitment that, pack up, go
Per month kind of thing?
per month.
Yeah.
That's all I can do, and I always look for something I want to do in that month. So as a promoter, I think it would be hard because I'm not saying everybody thinks like me, but I think there is a lot of people like Johnny's soccer tournament.
Yeah.
You can give up one, but you can't give up two in June, and then two more in July. It's just not.
Well, the enthusiasm from winter, that's why do we do Ifredi, guys? It's a horrible race. It's a terrible course. It's long. It's miserable. The
beautiful.
weather
I
sucks.
don't hate it.
Every year I hate it, and I go back because I'm so excited from the winter. Like I want to race bikes.
Wow.
I find a reason to hate it. This year was the headwind. Last year was me cracking. The year before that was my equipment.
I mean, it's not a terrible course, but it's not the best of the races we do. I think it's probably my least favorite of the ones we've
But
done.
you're energized in the spring.
Yeah,
is
that's what I'm
you're
getting at. You have the desire in the spring because of winter. And then you get to like June and July and you're kind of like, my race itch has been scratched.
Jackson, are you just going to power down July 4th weekend? Just like, that's it, done. See you in September.
That's what's kind of tough is I don't really have any racing after June in 2 weeks. I don't have anything after that.
Yeah.
So, I could always find something in August. July is a really busy month just like family-wise. So, I don't know. I'd stick it on road, and I know that we're all going to probably ride a lot after that, and we'll also
Thursday
have
nights.
I was going to say we'll also have our Thursday night group rides together. But, yeah, it's kind of it.
And that Thursday night you guys are talking about, for people that don't know, I'm sure every community has some form of that. Wednesday night Worlds, Tuesday. Ours is called Thursday Night Thunder. Is
Thursday
that
night
what it is?
throwdown.
Throwdown. Okay, that's better than Thunder.
I kind of like Thunder. That's cool.
Here it comes. We're ready to rumble. That kind of bullshit. Is that sufficient for your competitive outlets though? Just a weeknight ride where everybody's going fast?
I want crits.
Yeah.
Crits would be cool, and that's what EPO has to offer. There used to be that every weekend, like in Seattle.
Yeah.
And that is kind of the problem with living on this side of the state, is that it's really hard to then like get the motivation to go over there unless it was back to back, like EPO is doing.
Yeah.
So, but July and August are crit season. 100% that's crit season.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause I don't want to do a road race at that point. No, road races are like
Temperature's
May, June.
high. You're gonna
Yeah.
there's more of an attrition thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas like nighttime crits and it's hot out. Oh,
Derby days.
so cool. Derby days.
Okay. If you could add I don't know. I think Paul and I might have been the only ones that watched all 3 stages of the Tulsa Tough.
I watched 2.5. I got
Okay.
super close to the Crybaby Hill, but I
Okay.
wasn't able to finish it.
If you could add a big event to the calendar, not many, it doesn't have to be this year. It could be next year, something like that. What would you dream of adding? For example, Tulsa Tough. It looks like 3 days of just pain and insanity, and heat, like horrible heat. Me, mine that I did add, and I'm nervous as hell for it, is Breck Epic. That was honestly my wife and I sitting and watching YouTube videos, and she goes, "You should do it," and we could
Were you
camp our way
drinking?
Down there. Oh God,
Well, there you go.
what? Only on days that end in a Y. But yeah, and then and I'm nervous about it. It's not really about the fitness. I'm worried about the technical elements of the course, and I'm worried about the elevation. But I added that, and I love having that. It's in the back of my head all the time. I know that I still have to keep going all year until August, and having those big calendar ones are really cool. What would you guys add if you could add? Let's say reasonable money, not an object.
St. Louis Grand Prix.
Maybe for you, you've never done it. I would like to do that one again. St. Louis Grand Prix is a really cool 4-day in all the different big neighborhoods in St. Louis.
Wow,
They're amazing. They're wonderful crits.
They're fast.
But I mean, so Tulsa Tough I've never done and always wanted to, and the other one's Tour of America's Dairylands.
Oh yeah.
That one would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crit series stuff though.
Yeah,
It's got a real Milwaukee Super Week feel to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all crits.
Okay.
Super Week had you cross a bridge where you had to make a fist because
Yeah.
you lose your finger.
That was a crit, though.
Was it?
That was a crit. Yeah, there were a lot of crits. There were maybe 3 road races, and there were circuit races.
Yeah,
Is
circuit.
Boise still happening? Because that
Yeah.
was always on my list.
Bend is this weekend.
Bend is, but what about Boise Twilight?
I think it's when we're
Yeah.
gone.
It's
I'm
in July, I think it
99%
is.
sure
I have
it's
to-
when we're gone.
Yeah.
Oh, it is happening though?
I think it happens every year still.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just that
That's the other one I was
It's
going to say.
when
That's
we're
always,
gone.
Yeah,
I've
Boise's a
always
good
wanted
one.
to do Boise.
Paul, what would you add if you could?
Same lines.
Same
I think
lines.
crit series. I think Ryan's trying to do that. I think that's good. It'd be cool to have something here in Spokane. I think you would draw. We talked last week about not getting numbers, but if there's a reason for, not everybody likes to do a TT, and I'm not bashing the format of RC3 because I like doing it, but I think that you can get, crit, 3 days of crit
Yeah.
that gives people like, yeah, I'm going to make it a weekend.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like you were talking about, Derby days. I'm not going to go over to Seattle. And even Ben. If Ben had another day, if Sunday was
Yeah.
a crit, then that would be great. But to travel all that time,
For one race.
one race.
And you flat or you
it's-
get dropped.
It's a
and
great
like,
city
wow,
and
this is a
stuff.
long way to
But,
drive.
hey, bring your wife. Yeah, so that's not going to work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not going to Bend for that.
Mhm.
But I mean, when it was the Cascade Cycling Classic, it was really cool.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Jackson, what would you add if you could?
That's a good question. I mean, this year it was Tour de Bloom.
For sure.
That was the one that I
Yeah,
really wanted
yeah.
to do from last year. It was really fun, and we'll probably be back next year, honestly.
I will be.
Yeah.
Percent.
Yeah, you're never getting out of it. You to be fair, you did start this.
I
This is all your fault.
But I'm the one that started and was like, guys, don't do it. It's horrible. It's very painful. And then you guys are like, oh, pain, yay.
Next year we're doing 1-2s.
Oh,
No, you don't.
We are
God.
not doing 1-2.
I am not doing 1-2s.
step off of that cloud.
You guys
little,
have a
little
job.
happy
You work 40
fairy.
plus hours
a
week.
exactly.
We're not doing
I
that.
did it. It
I'm quitting.
sucks.
Yeah.
I'm quitting.
I think if I that was what I wish I could have added last year.
Okay.
I think if theoretically, I'm dreaming big. If our local Thursday night series, if I could give them all of the funds in the world to be able to pull this off, I'd love if they could do it from like June 1st to like middle of August.
Oh, wow.
Just do it all summer. I think that would be really cool. But that's also a lot of time and a lot of money for a lot of people to do that. So
And some course variety would be needed, I think.
I don't know.
I
Honestly,
don't think so
I-
because it's never raced the same, has it?
no.
No.
Every time it's
Yeah.
been different. But
Always.
and I love it because, as I've said in the intro, like I have tried to figure out a different way to win every single time.
Yep.
And when can change. Who's
Exactly.
there. There's always
I agree with your statement because back in the day it used to have more variety and
Oh
it
my
was
God,
really
yeah.
cool.
It was all over the place.
But it is, I mean, like over on the west side of the state, they have the Pacific Inland Raceways or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Pacific
Yeah.
Raceway. Yeah.
Pacific Raceway.
Something
And
like- yeah, yeah.
whatever that is. But they do that every week.
Thank you, sir.
Right? And so, or I don't know, ish.
Yeah.
But that's like, it's the same thing. And it's used to bring a huge field all the time because it's a practice race and it always plays out different. So I think just give people a course to open the throttle on, and that's all they really care about.
Yeah.
And, like you could get a little bit more creative with the route out there because there is a little bit more tarmac that you could use, but
Yeah. I don't know. I've just had so much fun this year that
Yeah.
it's been. I don't want it to go away. I'm sad.
So you guys are losing my question.
Yeah, so
all right.
Jackson would
The
extend.
race you would add.
I would have extended what we
That
currently have
series.
going. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you'd keep it that.
Simple
I don't want to say
man.
simplistic, but yeah.
I like I said, I'm really enjoying my time there, and we're all racing really hard against each other.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I've had a great time this year.
Okay. Me, I'm very different from you guys apparently.
we go to Breck Epic.
Sorry.
Are you talking
I-
weight?
I am. Oh,
I'm sorry.
Double up on the Zoloft tonight.
I let it hang there. I let it hang there for a while, and Sam didn't pick it up. So I had
Oh
to
no,
pitch it.
that was perfectly ball busted.
Yep,
planes,
yep,
man.
yep.
I like that. I like that a lot. No, I don't know why. I mean, when I went and watched you guys at Bloom, I really enjoyed being there. I don't know if I had a desire to race.
That's fair.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
I
Stupid.
if I had a dream race, I would go to the the Rift in Iceland.
What's
I would do. It is a brutal gravel race in Iceland over like the black sands of Iceland.
We know somebody has done that.
Yeah,
Here's-
Red Soderbergh. Yeah.
I have kind of a follow up with that because I was asking Ryan when he was here because Ryan used to be like you, a very high end racer, right?
Yeah.
And knows the front end of a race.
Yeah.
And is like.
So
I
you're
mean,
saying we're the same that way, or are you saying he's better than me?
No, you're
Because
the
I will dive
same.
across this bar. Paul
You're
just
the
called me
same.
fat. I'm ready to kick some ass.
I don't know. I mean, I never saw it. So theoretically,
Room temperature just went up 2 degrees.
It did.
Theoretically,
You're saying-
he's like back in the 80s.
Pat
I
used to be really good.
something.
Yeah, right.
Uh-huh.
80s and
Anyway.
90s, motherfucker.
Yeah. Anyway, what I was saying, and I asked Ryan this question, was like, do you think that you can still find that same enjoyment in racing? Because I think, I'm just projecting here, that you wouldn't like Tour de Bloom the same because like it's not the same race for you because you used to be on the front end of that back in the day of like, being an aggressive. So now you're more in the like, I want an experience, type of a thing. And Ryan was kind of saying the same things like, yeah, they kind of have to just come to me now. I'm not really in it to be competitive anymore.
You know what? I still feel a little of both.
Yeah.
But it's very easy for me to switch off. That pre-race anxiety is still so much there, and that's not a bad thing. That is not a bad thing. But sometimes I'm just like going, I just want to show up and kick my own ass, and and sometimes I find myself doing well when I'm doing those longer events. That being said, I have zero desire to do Unbound.
Oh my god! Especially seeing all of like the bacteria infections that they get
Yeah.
after
Oh, yeah,
that,
yeah.
it's just it's terrible.
The distance intrigues me, but the fact that most years ends up in some sort of mud
Peanut butter
that
mud.
destroys your bike, I'm not interested at all. I don't. I mean, I paid for my bike. I don't want to go and have your dropouts gone.
But you get a belt buckle.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not interested in that sort of thing.
What are these infections?
Yeah, so people, because of all
It's
the
cow
mud and
manure.
the cow shit
manure.
that they're putting into their mouths,
Giardia?
they're getting like
they're getting
bacterial infections.
gastrointestinal things.
Yes,
Yes.
like I'm pretty sure.
Is that your official diagnosis, doctor?
I'm pretty sure. and
I'm
don't-
trying to.
Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Dylan Johnson had to like spend a couple of weeks dealing with a bacterial infection after Unbound. People just like expect it. That's so gross.
Nope.
Well, fortunately, I
It
could
is
get-
out in pasture land, by the way.
Yeah.
That's
David
why-
would just be preloading
Yeah,
antibiotics.
I'll just, instead of pre-race, I'll take pre-antibiotics.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, some of those things are really cool to me. I don't know why I put down a Masters Nationals. But that almost goes against everything I was saying about not wanting to do Bloom. I had so much fun watching you guys do Bloom. I don't know.
You should have stuck around for the Pro Crit.
I'm at a crossroads. I should have stuck around for the Pro Crit.
I was
was
too cold.
freezing. I was freezing.
I was super cold.
You guys next year got to plan for the Pro Crit.
Yeah.
It is an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can watch Sam and I.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, 3 laps in.
Although,
Hey, ready
I
for
just
some
want you
beer?
guys to know that our crit speeds were the same almost exactly as the crit speeds of the Pro. And like comparing our numbers with a friend of ours that raced in that my same size, put out same power.
Right on. How'd that
So-
race go?
I held on for dear life.
I did not.
I just gave up.
I gave up.
Yeah. I felt the wind and I was like,
So
this
here
is
come
so
the
stupid.
pros.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're going to shift gears to people who are actually racing this well into the year. Tonight's headlines brought to us by our friends with help from Time Bicycles. Beauty, stiffness, durability, and performance under the name you can recognize. Click the link at packfiller.com or drop us a line for more. This is the old jingle. I forgot.
Do it. Panda Watch.
Panda Watch. God, I haven't done that in a while. The Criterium du Dauphine continued today with the biggest names in. David, do you know what that race is?
My wife and I've been watching it. Yeah,
Right on.
Oh, man.
Biggest
first time ever.
biggest names in races lining up for the overall. Well, outside of the tour, this is probably it. Some of the biggest names we will see. Things are definitely going to be supplied with ample fireworks. Day one kicked off in high gear with Tadej, Jonas, and Remco squaring off for the first time this year. Currently, things are looking as follows. As spoiler alert, after today, Ivan Romeo from Movistar actually not only won the stage but went into the leader's jersey. He jumped 35 places in that stage to take the overall lead currently. Mathieu van der Poel is absolutely 3 weeks ago he broke his wrist.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago. And he's as he quoted today, he said it was one of the hardest days he's ever had on this bike. Just massive aggression and just going for it. He sits in fifth. But the big names, we have Tadej Pogacar, we have Jonas Vingegaard and Remco Evenepoel all within 1 minute and 17 seconds of the overall lead. Tomorrow is a time trial, which would be boring in many situations, except we are just a few short weeks away from the Tour de France. What have we learned, gentlemen, in terms of rider preparation for this tour? The first stage alone was absolutely unbelievable, where you're seeing a breakaway with Tadej Pogacar, Jonas Vingegaard, Mathieu van der Poel, Remco Evenepoel, and somebody from Bahrain. Who was it? I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Because you're surrounded by those four people. I don't remember seeing
Fred
a year
Wright.
one. It was.
Fred Wright.
It might have been Fred
that's
Wright. Yeah. What are we seeing in terms of? I don't want to just poo-poo away the Dauphine, but holy shit! I mean, what are we expecting to see in terms of preparation for the tour, and what do you think is going to happen?
May I?
Yes.
For all of our listeners who don't watch bike racing as much as I do,
Opposite day is on Thursday, David.
my understanding is that this is like a nice predictor for the tour. Right.
Yeah.
What
Historically
is it-
speaking.
Historically, so what? I mean, is there climbing to come? What's going
Yes,
on?
there
Like,
is.
because
There's
so-
a TT tomorrow, and then they're going to be hitting. Typically, the Dauphiné uses part of, or sometimes a whole section of part of the course of the Tour de France. So it's
Saturday
It
and
is
Sunday.
yeah.
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday we'll be doing some of those.
And also the last several years, because like if you look 10 years back, it wasn't actually like 10 years ago, it was a predictor. But in the last few years, a lot of the hitters didn't show up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what's really cool about this year's is that like those guys are there.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
I mean, personally, I'm hoping to see, like tomorrow's time trial, I'm hoping to see a really strong effort by Remco Evenepoel. And then I'm hoping to see Tadej and Jonas close to each other.
Yep.
The mountain stages, I'm hoping to see, somebody winning, but only by like 5-10 seconds. I mean, I don't want to see this, Tadej going, well, although, okay, see, this is how my brain's working. Okay, Tadej opens up, he finishes the Dauphiné with 2 minutes over everybody else. Is that going to carry through into the third week of the tour? See, this is how my brain starts to develop. And
Probably because he won back-to-back Giro Tour last year, which is like an 8-week span.
but he had that time between to recover and rest. So what are we seeing in terms of the plans of people to topple very likely one of the greatest riders of all time?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting this year because I think it's going to have to go back to Visma using the team, because right now I think that Tadej is on such a level that is unmatched by any rider that we're going to see. But when in that same vein, I think UAE is also bringing a team that is equivalent. So I think this is going to be a tour that will be very interesting because we're finally seeing a Jonas that is, for the most part, full health, and a Tadej that is full health. So this is going to be the first time in a long time that we've seen them really, yes, I know, knock on wood, really hit each other at full strength.
Yeah.
And we're going to be there.
You
gonna be
guys are.
exciting.
Yeah.
What stage? 14?
We're going to start at 14 and go through 17 or 18.
Mm-hmm.
We're
You
going
guys
to watch
gonna-
Mom run too.
You guys want to take the flag?
Yeah.
I can.
You should take the flag.
Is
Try to
it
get
cool
on
if
TV.
I'm in a Speedo?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
I got it.
Jinx.
Do I have to be in the Speedo?
Yeah.
Yes, and it has to have...
Or less.
Actually,
I'm not
That's what I
ashamed.
meant.
I'm not
Do I have to wear the Speedo, or can I just...
Yeah.
here's what we should do. You should get one with Sam's face on it, and Sam, you should get one with David's face on it.
Wait, now where's the face?
Yes.
You can put 2 and 2 together, and I mean 2.
Possibly TMI.
So the
but-
nose, okay.
Possibly
And the chin.
SpongeBob.
Possibly TMI, but Danielle and I have underwear.
We got a
with-
Squidward theme going on.
Wait. I want to hear what you're about
Danielle
to
and I
say.
have underwear with each other's face on them.
It's great.
She got them for me as a joke for our wedding. And
Wait,
And then
her
you
seriously?
just
face,
wear them.
Yeah, I
Did
wear
it
'em.
work?
Yes, her face
Okay.
is perfectly planted with her nose right over my package. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
It is great stuff. And it was like,
Quit lying.
There's so
It's
many
growing.
thoughts right
You're
now.
lying to me. Look.
Honey, do you know how I know you're lying?
No.
Your nose
I'm wearing
is
your
growing.
underwear.
Those are mine.
so good.
Holy fucking shit. The
So yeah, we'll
rails
get
just
those
went off.
Speedos.
There you go.
Okay.
I'm down.
Somebody on Etsy's probably making them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
So,
where she got ours.
well, then, you got the link.
Do you think that person who makes underwear with your spouse's face on it, do you think that person just cries themselves to sleep every night?
Well,
No, you got to
like-
be like a doctor or a nurse at a certain time. You've seen it all. It's like,
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to
It's
blow
like
it
nothing.
off.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I would be just like, what have I done with my life? This is what everything. I was an artist.
As they sleep in their bed
this
made
is
of.
what my 4-year
Four-year
art
degree.
degree at a private school brought me.
I
I'm,
don't,
I'm stenciling somebody's nose onto the junk of somebody else's underwear.
while they lay in their bed of money, I don't think they think of these things.
I don't think Etsy people are lying in the money you think they're lying in.
Oh well, fair enough.
They're still trying to pay off their student loan of $150,000.
Yeah, exactly. Not speaking from experience. Hi, everybody. Side note, Red Bull Hansgrohe. On paper, things look like they should be on fire. In reality, seeing through rough times, to say the least. According to Primoz Roglic's 2025 schedule, he has appeared to schedule the start line in France.
I bet you that'll change. I think that'll
You
change.
think it will?
I think it will. Unless he's more banged up than I thought.
Yeah.
Who else
But
do they
what
have?
else? I mean, you think about what are they going to put in contention?
Like,
And
you
he
think
didn't
he'll
finish
start?
it. I think he will start.
I think so too. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He will
Sorry,
start
I thought
the
you were
tour?
saying.
Yeah, I
I thought
think
you were
so.
saying the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's not slated to start, right?
He is.
he is.
He is
It is on
slated.
his
Oh, okay.
program to
Okay.
start the tour.
Yeah, I figured that.
And I was surprised by that. After it was on his program early in the year, not just because his Giro went tits up, but
The gravity storms in Italy
Yeah.
are really bad.
Yeah.
We seem to find all those gravity
exactly.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
storms.
I
It's sad.
Sinkholes.
Yeah.
I think if he goes, when he goes to the tour, I don't think he should have hopes. I think it's going to be,
I
and
agree.
that's so tough because he is like a very talented rider. He's one of the top, I'd say 10. However, he's facing 3 generational talents.
How do you do that though?
Also coming off of a crash, though.
You've got a multi-million-dollar organization behind this guy, and how do you walk it? I mean, that's like saying,
But I think there's
hey,
a difference.
Pat, it's okay. It's the Tour de Bloom. Just have fun.
But I think there's a difference between the team telling him, "You're our leader. We're going to try and win the tour with you," and him by himself saying, "I don't know how well this is going to go." You can try your best and have whatever hopes you want and not be able to achieve that goal.
But is it just gravity? Is it just the tarmac that is stopping this guy from doing something great?
I think he's had some bad luck on top of that, but I think some of it, I had a season where I kissed the pavement constantly, and I couldn't figure it out. And there's like, out of like 10 crashes that I had in a race, there's only like one that was my stupid mistake. I was just happened to be at the wrong time, warming up on greasy pavement, stuff like that for a TT. That's his fault, without a doubt.
So?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I think for him, he sits pretty good. I mean, why not? Because everybody's watching those three. It's going to be Evenepoel, right, and Vindigo and Pogačar. So he really has no pressure. And
he's really
Red
good at
Bull
just
is just
being
like
consistent.
exactly. And his deal is sitting back, and then right at the crucial parts, sprinting and getting his time over the top of the hill. So, I mean, this is a perfect storm for him.
Final question on the racing front for this show: who's going to win the Dauphine?
Tade.
I think so too.
Got it.
How do you stop
I've never
that?
seen this race. I don't know what's coming.
It's also so
This is my
tough
first
because
time.
it's a week.
Yeah,
It's
I remember when it was called Dauphine Libre. Yeah, but not anymore. That's how old I am.
I just think because it's a week, if a rider wins a stage, you're not really going to bring it back.
And I think Andrew Talansky was the last American to win it.
Yes, he was.
And why is that name in my long-term memory?
Florida guy?
Yeah, the guy
The
that's
Pitbull?
and
Yeah.
he's a triathlete now, so
Yeah,
that
he
explains a lot.
Yeah.
You guys remember him pulling over and like crying on the side of the road, and then like the team was like, "No, you're not dropping out, Garmin," and he like limped in and made it to the finish, and then I think you pulled out that night or something like that. Oh my god!
That's right.
Thank you,
That's not-
Benedito's beer for the childish
No,
mentality.
I would have laughed at that in church. I would have giggled at that. I would have gone in church.
Oh my god!
That's a pills, not an IPA I gave you.
That was
The
it.
pervy pills.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
Jax is not here, so he just stepped out to use the
Urinal. Little boys' room.
urinal. So he doesn't know what's about to happen.
Oh.
It's game show time, boys and girls.
Oh no!
Hey, everybody! It's game show fun time. Tonight it's a round of hell yes, yes, no, or hell no. There are no points on the line, but Jackson just came in, so I'm going to say the name of the game again. Hell yes, yes, no, or hell no. We're just asking for your opinions. Wacky contestant panel.
Wacky, yes.
All right, so basically what I'm going to give you guys is I have categories of things that I want to decide. I've already decided if they are hell yes, yes, no, or hell no. And if you agree with me, I guess I can give you a point. Technically, I can give you a point there.
All right.
See who agrees with Pat the most. Okay? So, to begin.
Hang on. That's going to change my opinion. Cause,
No, I'm
Yeah,
still
'cause are
gonna
we
give
trying-
my
I
opinion.
want your opinion.
all right.
And I'm going to see if I agree with you.
Are we going one by one or group at a time?
So
one
the-
by one?
So the winner of the game is already decided.
Pat. Because he knows the
Pat
answer.
wins.
Yeah.
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 It's his show.
We're gonna start. We're gonna go counterclockwise because of that, smart ass.
Ah, shit.
Helmets on the podium. Hell yes, yes, no, or hell no. David.
Hell no.
You didn't have a fuck no on that?
No.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Hell no. And if you look at the last 2 weeks,
You
Yeah,
have
it's-
been a good boy, Jackson.
I've been the
You
only
have been a
one.
very
Yeah,
good boy.
good man.
Very good boy. Everybody gets the point. Where's my point? Where's my point? Pat, you should be ready for this.
Ding ding. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. I have the point somewhere, but fuck it. An American on the Tour podium this year. David.
No.
Paul.
Hell no. I wish.
No.
Hell no.
Yeah, I'm gonna go no. I think
I get a
the
point.
concepts. I think the concepts of
Jorgensen,
that could be good.
who I've
for
been
that.
mentioning
don't
for a
know.
very long
Yeah.
time, and
Yeah.
I'm clearly the smartest out of all of us.
Okay, number 3, keeping the kit on after a race, but I need the window of acceptability after it. So if you say it's okay, how long can you keep the kit on after a race?
Okay.
David, hell yes.
Well,
All the way
how
to hell
long?
no.
I mean, yes, what are you supposed to do? Strip naked immediately? But, like, you should be out of your kit in 20 or 30 minutes.
Okay. Ooh, okay. Paul?
Get out of that kit as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What's
cross the
time
line,
window?
say, hey, good race, blah, blah, blah. Go to your car, change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Agreed, except I did break that when I fell asleep. In my kit.
Under the shadow of a tree.
In fact, I pulled up and he peeled his kit off and it sounded like Velcro. His chamois. Just
Yeah. And I just put the next one on.
I think it should be like a yes, but within like 30 to 45.
Okay, we're all under an hour.
Well,
Okay.
now I give a little bit of time with crits. Road races, you got to get the hell out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crits, I would almost push to an hour.
Yeah, possibly.
That's
Because
our
if you're
max.
going to be on the podium,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
But after an hour, you start
Yeah,
to feel the worms
oof.
crawling in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this is
If you're
nasty.
sitting
Did I
at
wet
dinner-
myself?
Yeah,
what's
exactly. What's
If you're
going
sitting
on
at
here?
dinner and you start to raise because the saddle sores are pushing you up, you know it's too far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Bro levers.
What the hell's that?
No.
Turning the bro levers in.
Oh,
And if yes, how far is acceptable?
I'm just going to give it a no.
No? Paul?
I don't know because I don't have the new, because I have rim brakes. So reservoirs kind of changed that.
Sure.
I think you have to turn it in just a little bit, but barely like 3 degrees maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no because I like in, but not bro lever in,
Not-
where
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
freaking horizontal.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no because mine are like perfectly straight. And that's actually good for
Okay.
my own wrists. So.
Mine are the. Sam, you prescribed it to me. I made it popular.
You did.
I did.
You were far
Bro.
before the vegan
Yeah.
cyclist.
Yeah. And I remember you were actually saying we should put your brake levers in, and I was fighting it. I was like, no, I don't want to be that person.
And then you did it. And
Bro.
Everybody's doing
You're
it.
the bro.
I'm
Yeah.
the bro. Bro levers. I'm calling them bro levers.
Yeah.
That's my term. I don't know who gets point. I lost track. Do you guys keep track points?
We're all
I got
winners.
4.
Training rides over 90 degrees. Training rides over 90 degrees.
Hell no.
Yes.
Start
100%.
early.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Hell yes.
Yep.
Jackson and Paul get the point on that one. You guys are just a little
called
whiny.
heat train.
I'm a
Boys.
little, no.
It's called you got to ride, man.
No,
You
ride
can
earlier.
early.
No.
What?
You just ride earlier.
You just ride earlier.
It's not that you don't ride that day. You just start
What time?
early.
What time? Oh no. Okay, let's break this down. What time is early?
Well,
6.
6:30 sometimes.
I enjoy my mental health.
Thank you, Jackson.
So that's what.
But
Total
here-
agree.
here's my theory.
5 extra points for Jackson.
What did
Here's
I,
my
I'm-
theory
I'm
on it.
lost.
How many times do you have a 6:30 in the morning midsummer road race?
Well, but
No, you're-
like,
yeah.
Yeah. When are they
absolutely right.
usually? They're about 11,
You're
3
absolutely
o'clock.
right.
Yeah. So you might as well climatize.
Nope. No, I don't want to.
Gloves.
full finger or half?
Cycling gloves. Summertime cycling gloves.
No.
Paul.
Not necessary.
In a crit, not a bad idea.
Hell yes, all the time.
I too am a hell yes. I'm not. So Jackson gets more points. You guys also suck.
I didn't know this about you guys.
Well, he is part
He
of your
always has.
loin.
They-
from
yeah,
your
they-
loin, so-
they-
I have gloves every single time.
They
mean,
both
they-
wear gloves all the time.
He needs to be handicapped for the score at the end. It doesn't count because he's genetically.
Yeah, he needs to be half
Yeah, whatever he
because
gets,
he's
cut it in
half
half.
you.
Yeah, exactly. We're only scoring the Michelle half.
Peeing while in the midst of a race. Peeing in the middle of a road race.
I mean, yes. How can you say no to that? If you have to pee, you have to pee.
Hell yes.
You have to be in the back. You can't do it in the front.
Nope.
Yep. And it's your option to.
I guess
it's
I guess my ask for your question on this is: have you done it?
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Back in the old days when we had 90-mile races,
Yeah.
you had to. But I'm
I did
not
it
there
this year.
anymore, so I don't have to worry about it.
Jackson?
I've never done it.
I've never had the need to pee in the middle of a
You
race.
are as crusty as this old fucker next to me.
I must be.
You guys don't drink enough water.
Dehydration is the
drink
key.
tons.
You roll across the line and you pee dust.
This is why you guys gave me grief when I talked about when you're supposed to hydrate before a race, so you don't have to pee during the race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a common occurrence.
Yeah.
Anything over 2
If you're
hours.
well hydrated, it's going to happen.
Should.
Skin/speed suits on training rides.
No.
No.
I would say only if you haven't done your wash.
There we go.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a last resort thing. I've done it on the trainer before. I've been like, God, I have no shorts.
I have done that too, but I would say generally no.
No.
Now, I think no. However, what would you wear for like a Thursday night Worlds or Thursday night
Oh,
Throwdown?
skin suit.
Would you?
That's not training, right?
It's okay. See,
Freaking worlds.
that's okay. I was wondering because honestly, I have found this year that my skin suit is more comfortable than a bib and jersey.
Yeah, because they're the speed suit, and you can unzip.
Yeah,
and
I wore mine on the
detach.
road race, and I felt more comfortable than I would have in a jersey and shorts.
Yep. Good news. I forgot what I ordered. Got
Everybody gets a point.
my panache skin suit.
Yeah.
Didn't realize I ordered a skin suit. It was great. I'm so
Yeah,
excited. I
it
have a
is.
skin suit.
Are you wearing
Yeah,
it on
yeah.
Thursday?
Yeah, I will.
Nice.
We're all going to be in skinnies.
Did you get yours too?
Mhm.
Sweet.
Mine's not as skinny.
I got one.
We're gonna be way faster.
And I'm not going
Mine's
to
a
be
Buffy.
there. Do you want to borrow mine?
No, I have one.
It's a
just-
medium.
mine's not as skinny. It's a Buffy.
Medium.
Fuck you guys. 5 points for Jackson.
See, my half will be your whole.
Casquettes,
What's that?
a.k.a. cycling hats.
Yeah, in winter.
David?
I used to wear them in the winter.
Yeah? Paul?
Only on the podium.
Only on the podium. Sam?
Wait, the little dorky hat, you're going to wear that on a
That's what they were
podium?
intended for. That's what they were
That's
created
dumb.
for.
Yeah.
That's what they were created for. And I agree with Paul. 5 points for Paul.
No.
Nice.
Jackson
5 for
hasn't
you.
answered yet.
-5
No.
for you for
Yeah.
even arguing.
Jackson hasn't even answered yet.
I think I'd wear them. I don't even wear them in the winter because I have so much hair and a really large head. But
Brag much?
I
I'm
would
not
wear 'em
kidding.
in
The boy's like an orange on a toothpick.
Yeah, I would wear them in the wet. If we have to race
Wet.
in the wet, that's the only time I'm gonna wear it.
I've got a story about his noggin and a casquette.
Oh, yeah?
So we were doing
Jackson?
race up the mountain. Yeah, Jackson.
Yeah.
He was 3 years old, and Pat used to put teams together,
Oh, yeah.
and he had like DC versus Marvel.
Yeah.
We had chicken and egg,
Shaken and
less
stirred.
filling.
Tastes great.
Tastes great.
Yeah.
And
we had
so we
running,
had these two
running
teams.
relay up the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it started off downtown Spokane, get to the top of the mountain, Mount Spokane. And we all registered, went in to, it was called the Bayou Brewery.
Yeah.
And Jackson was 3 years old and he had a casquette on. And I'm looking at him and I go, $10 says that casquette's going to fit on my head. Everybody's like, no way. It fit perfectly. I had the same size head
That's
as
how
you.
big
Your
your-
noggin was
as a
in third
toddler.
grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Nice.
I agree. They're for podium.
Yeah, they're
They're
podium.
for podium. Paul gets points.
Promotional.
Correcting people when they call you a biker.
Yes, I did it.
Yes.
Wrong, I'm a roadie.
No. I would say yes, but you do it in conversation. Are you a biker? Yeah. I cycle all the time.
Yeah.
I consider
I've
myself
been a cyclist
cyclist
for 50 years. Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. You don't say, no, what, you fucking idiot? I'm
Yeah.
not a biker.
No.
Do you see leather?
Yeah.
Do I have like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you can read this, the bitch fell off
Yeah.
thing, you know? I'm not a biker.
Sam?
That's so great. I would say I probably wouldn't correct somebody.
Really?
Yeah, I just would want to be more
You don't
welcoming
figure
to
a
it.
way out to like work it into conversation.
I'll
That's what
probably
I'm
work it into
Yeah.
I'm
conversation.
saying like
Yeah.
cyclists, you know.
Yeah.
Jackson?
No, I probably wouldn't, but I'd probably just never talk to him again. So
Oh.
Wow, you're really getting
can
the
cut
pass
You know what?
for it.
You know what? I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
5 points for Jackson.
Passive aggressive. No, but Paul gets it too. But yeah, you guys just follow along. You didn't bring anything to the table.
Well, yeah, yeah. You went before me.
Okay, how many points have we lost?
Would you
You
done the
haven't lost
biker
any.
thing?
You just didn't gain any.
No, I
said you wouldn't correct
Okay,
anybody.
then you lost.
Yeah, you're just this beacon of hope on the mountainside, going, "I include everyone."
I'm a
Fuck that.
millennial. Everybody's a winner.
Yeah.
Here's your trophy.
Yeah.
Shaving all the way up.
Well, why do
Your
you guys,
legs.
Why do you
Oh,
guys,
shaving.
Shaving
I thought you
all
said
the way
shaming.
Nah.
Well, that's different.
Shaving all the way up.
Why do you guys think I stop here? This is where I stop. That's why I have a mustache.
The rest of you though put you on a slip and slide. Holy shit!
Yeah, this
Oil that man up.
because you know
he'll
you
shoot down a
start at
hill.
the ankle and you're like, where do I stop? And then you pick a natural stopping point. The mustache is the first natural stopping point.
10 points for David.
Where else are
Yeah.
you gonna stop? Bikini crotch hair? Come on.
Come on.
I do mine in a Batman figure. So
Yeah.
Well,
just
that's
saying.
cool.
He bleaches it.
Yeah, right.
I don't have to. I'm blonde.
It's Gracie. Good for you.
Thanks.
Even at this age.
You could tell I was running out of ideas. Arm hair control. Do you, shaving, trimming your arm
I've
hair.
never done anything. Did you
Holy
see any hair
Oh
there?
my
shit.
god.
Nothing.
No.
You got the camera on him for that?
Yeah, I do now.
No arm hair.
Wow.
You want to know what I have?
I have like 10 on my chest. So when it comes to shaving, my kneecaps is where I stop.
Oh my God. Look at my knuckles. I mean, if I don't.
But thank goodness
Yeah.
you
I mean,
drag them because
yeah,
there'd be
if
hair
I
on them.
Yeah.
I was going to make a knuckle dragging joke and you took it from me.
Sorry.
You want to know what a student
I'm
said to
more
me
like
the other
you.
day? I was hot in my classroom, so I was kind of like fanning out my shirt. He looks at me and goes, "Mr. Jackson, why are you so hairy?" I said, "Buddy, that's just who I am."
Yeah.
I felt
I'll
so-
bring a
wanted
picture
to
of my
say.
dad,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah,
can see
yeah.
where it came from.
I'm doing pretty good actually.
So does anybody else trim their arm hair?
No.
Sam, you don't. You got quite a shag on there.
I know.
I do trim mine.
Yeah, I just don't want to deal with the
I have
See my
porcupine.
arm
Yeah,
hair?
Paul doesn't have to.
I have like 10 of them that are about 2.5 inches
Jackson,
long.
do you
Do my arm hair?
trim your arm hair?
I've never touched my arm hair before.
Well, I have to. Well,
Depends. Well, shoulders, however.
I'm like an alpaca here.
Yeah.
Shoulders?
I do have two shoulders.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You ready for the last one?
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with cycling, and I will give all the points in the world to this one. Pooping in public restrooms / porta potties.
I'm gonna have to give it a hell yes because what else are you doing before races? You have to.
Hell yes, but here's the routine. You
Don't
gotta
touch the
be.
seat.
You gotta
Don't
be
touch the seat.
ready. You don't touch the seat. You're ready. The thing that the
How do
moment
you
that
hover?
hits
How do you guys hover?
the moment that hits the
Quads.
water, you hit
Yeah.
flush because you don't want to be walking out of there in the poop shame. You know.
What about a porta potty?
Porta potty.
Oh well, no, he asked for both.
Yeah. I'll allow for both.
Yeah, in a porta potty, here's what I do, and I know there's
He
a
stands
guy in our
backward.
24-hour race that does the same thing. I open up the toilet seat instantly, just start throwing toilet paper down there.
What the?
What?
hell?
Oh,
It's a
I don't
splash
want to
guard.
see. Yeah, it's a splash
You
guard.
learn that on porta potties because if you got like a big plopper, it splashes. You got a
You don't
blue
find-
ass.
you do.
You don't
get a
find
blue
that
ass.
Yeah,
satisfying
you
to
do.
know that you
And-
did well? You dropped a man turd.
That it
When it
splashed
splashes
other
and
But it
touches his
cradles
cheeks.
it. It cradles it for the next
Well,
I
person.
can't believe I just said that out loud.
Man,
So that's what he's doing, Jackson. He's creating a canvas.
yeah.
It's just like lands on the clouds. You leave for the next guy.
If you add a burrito, it's a Jackson Pollock painting.
You guys,
down there.
actually, let's get into porta potties
Your
here
butt
for a
cheeks
minute.
are blue.
Let's think about porta potty, like how this works. Who has ever walked in and you open up the porta potty and there's just a beautiful turd right there in the
I
middle
don't
of
know
it,
if I
right?
I don't know if I would call
Qualify.
somebody else's turn.
No, I'm just saying, there's a pile of shit right there,
Every time.
right?
Every time.
Every time.
There's always a.
Well, do people not wipe? Like, here's my thing. Like, do people not wipe? Like,
that's a
how
good
is it
point.
that? Right? That's I think about this all the
Think about
time. I'm
that.
like, do they like? I feel like they're
have I
throwing it to like the side of the porta potty, so it's like, yeah, enjoy the glorious turd I
I was
left.
going to say.
Yeah, that's why I always
shit.
shout out when I get in there. Show off!
But no,
I don't want my turd touching their turd. You know?
Why? It's gone.
Oh no!
You're talking to a blue
Oh,
collar
like, you gotta
guy.
put a layer in
Porta
there.
potties.
Blue
The only
collar
thing,
guy.
one thing that I've learned about porta potties or toilets, don't warm up before you poop because you're sweating and you're just going. It's like riding a bull while you're pooping.
You just
every
gotta let
time.
it happen.
Yeah. I got 8 seconds to hang on.
Any person who rolls into a porta potty and comes out and says it actually wasn't that bad, I don't want to be their friend.
I was
Like,
It's okay, so it was RC. I'm gonna set the scene. It was RC3 weekend. Dave and I are having a lovely conversation. I'm eating my lunch, eating my fruit. I put it back into the cooler, and I go, I'm gonna go check the results and take way too long in a porta potty. And so I walk off, check
Because
the
you had fruit.
I did have fruit.
Yeah.
Yep. Painted my canvas wonderfully. I walked out. I can tell you what, I couldn't even count the line. It was that long. I walked out. They were all like, standing in the
They
heat,
thought,
all furrowed
like-
brow, and I just went,
Good luck.
walked away, nodded my head and walked away. I couldn't care less.
I can't do that. I have
that
anxiety.
hurts.
Really?
Oh my God. In public bathrooms, if somebody else is in the restroom, I can't shit. I can't do it because I don't want them to hear me.
Oh.
And then porta potties, I can't tell you how many times I've been in a porta potty and I'm towards the tail end of my poop and I'm like going, okay, we're gonna be okay. You made it. You
It's
made
almost
it.
over.
Nobody's beside you. You made it. It's okay. You got through this.
Well,
There
you got to cover it up with humor. When you're making noise and everything,
No.
and you know people are listening, you just say, corn? What? I haven't had corn for 2 weeks. Like you're talking to yourself. And that just, like, all of a sudden everybody just steps away.
Random impression of a baby crying.
Like there was this time that we went down to we're so deep into poop now. Your worst nightmare, this place that we were at down in McCall, Idaho. I had to go to the bathroom in the morning, right, at this restaurant. And this place was like the saloon style.
Oh, yeah.
The bathroom doors, if you walk by, it was just like, hey, how's it going?
Oh.
And I'm like kind of
No.
sitting
Where'd you
there,
get
I'm
that
like, hey,
underwear?
who's gonna
Yeah.
walk? And you know what? Like right as you walked in, those were all the stalls. The urinals were at the other end, so everybody walked by you.
No.
I was like curled up. I'm like trying to like
Absolutely
stay out of
not.
the way. I'm like,
I
don't
have
look
no
at
problem
me.
with that.
See-
If they want to look, it's their problem.
The campground that we go to, it doesn't have a door. So
No.
little,
No, it
little
doesn't.
kids walking in, you're gonna be like, "Hey, how's it going, big dog?"
Big dog.
I would 100% have somebody stand guard.
Yeah.
And be like, don't go in.
You carry a weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fighting ring.
Or you hear somebody coming and you're like, occupy!
Yeah, before there's rain, there's thunder.
Everybody wins.
This got so far away from us.
Everybody wins. I just wanted to voice my anxiety about
Well,
public pooping.
yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
problem with public pooping.
Yeah.
And a
problem.
skin suit makes it worse.
Yes,
Oh,
definitely.
Don't warm up.
No,
I feel like
Especially
a
with the
skin
skin
suit-
suit. You're trying to
Oh.
get that back on after you.
Well,
Yeah, but it's
Put
also
it-
kind of
if you're s-
awkward to like, be like,
It can't touch the ground.
if you're
you
sitting
do
in a porta
poop-
potty,
oh.
skin suit's touching.
Nope. You
you fold
roll
it in. You
Yeah,
fold it
yeah.
in.
Everything goes.
You guys
There's
are
no
like
way.
going origami on your skin
Well, because
suits.
I'm in practice. I've done
Okay.
this a lot.
Okay. We got to get to segments, you guys. Thanks to our friends, the listeners. Our Patreon page is up on the homepage. Thanks to many of you guys. Thanks to your donations and things like that. I don't like asking for this kind of stuff, but it does help. I got to keep these guys drunk. If you like the show, support us and be sure and click that Patreon. First and always foremost is Changing Times with Paul Main. This one's entitled Ode to Joy, and I should have just saved the song and hit it and just gone with there, but I'm anxious to hear what Ode to Joy is.
So, are you guys familiar with Ode to Joy?
No.
Okay, that's
still
the
laughing
Ninth
about
Symphony
poop,
of
Jackson?
Beethoven. His
Oh.
very
Yeah,
last symphony.
Yeah. Da, 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 da,
So he was
da.
almost totally deaf. He had lost people in his life. He'd been sick and he struggled all his life. So I mean, towards the end of his life, and everybody said you wrote, and to this day is considered one of the most joyous symphonies ever written, and it incorporated a chorale, and which I think has been done a couple of times, but that really kind of launched it all. So the question that was, I'm going to paraphrase because I've heard this legend behind. They ask, how did you come up with this? Asking Ludwig van Beethoven, how did you come up with such a happy symphony when you were like towards death and this type of thing and lost lives and people in your life, and he said, well, that's the way when you suffer and struggle, that's how you can gauge happiness. If you have total happiness, you don't know what you have until you have that struggle.
Oh, wow.
So part of our ride on Saturday, bringing it down a notch.
No.
Here, but was one of these things. I know that the potential, if you don't go in those dark spots, if you prevent yourself, no matter what if you're a cyclist or you're at work or something, if you don't fight through that, you'll never know what it feels like on the other end. And you have to have that. If it's always a good, comfortable situation, you're always winning, it's easy, you have nothing to really gauge what true happiness is until you're in that dark spot. So anyway, that's what I visited on Saturday. It's like, whoa, I hadn't been here for a long time, but I know there's 8 weeks. I'll be better.
There it is.
Just in time for the EPO.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
So that's it.
That's really nice.
I like that. That is nice. And I almost ruined it by saying. I almost ruined it by when he said, "You know what Beethoven said?" And I was about to say, "Huh? What?
What? Hey, they're clapping.
Would have ruined it.
What?
Would have ruined it.
Yeah.
I would have ruined it."
You would have.
Fit tips with Bike Fit Sam from Ambassador Cycling. Be sure and check out ambassadorcycling.com. You guys, we're only who we are because of Sam's bike fits.
Bullshit.
Not true.
He's never done one on me.
Wow,
ever.
both of you guys. He's never done one on you?
Never had a bike
Maybe
fit.
that's his advantage.
There's photos of you having a bike fit on my freaking website.
That's because it was for the glory of the photo. You
And it was
actually do a
it was
bike-
AI.
You didn't
my
actually
God.
do a bike fit. You just sat me there.
Wow. Jesus H.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Sam, you're going to talk to us about fueling. You get questions about this. Which is an
in
interesting
the last
dynamic.
week I've had a few questions about it because that's obviously a big part. Like people will be like, "Oh, I still had hamstring cramps." I'm like, "Well, we know that your fit is correct. Like, that is good. So let's look at some other factors because having done a lot of studies in nutrition along with kinesiology degree, had to learn a lot of different parts of nutrition and fueling, and so I talk to people commonly about are you getting enough calories, all of this stuff on the bike, and without touching too much into the next topic that we're gonna have, it's it's expensive. I think everybody can agree, and we've touched on that in the past. So there are really simple solutions that I give to people. You can make your own drink mixes, actually. Another podcast out there, Trainer Road. If you go on their website, they actually have a formula of a lot of the basic. It's not flavored or anything, but it is a drink mix that you can just buy all the ingredients off Amazon. They tell you what to mix, and it's 15 cents a bottle, right?
Wow.
Well,
but they don't make jokes about porta potties.
That is true.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we're a better podcast.
So much better.
But there is some good, stuff that you could probably take from their website.
Wow. Okay.
But then my other big part is there's other things. I was just talking to another fit today who had follow-up questions about. I recommended those nerd clusters, which you guys might have seen us having at the race by the handful, and it's such a good, quick, just pure cane sugar. Your body's going to burn through it immediately, and it's cheap. And it's accessible, right? That I told him Gushers come individually wrapped, and so I can get all those things in bulk, and there's great solutions to meeting those needs that you have, right?
You see, Peter Sagan used to take a handful of Haribo gummy bears. Just,
Yep.
It doesn't cost you $4 a serving.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just think that there's other more creative ways, which if you have questions on any of that, reach out to me. But that's, a very common question that's asked is just fueling for the ride. What do I do? And what are some alternative options for the, more expensive stuff? Because I use Scratch. That's, my preferred method, but I understand.
Natural, though.
Yeah, no. I get that. It is, I think, the best product out there.
Yeah.
But it's an expensive product, and there are other options as well.
And their cookbook, not to overly plug Scratch, but Eric Min got his start by boiling potatoes and sprinkling them with salt and pepper and putting them in a bag, and riders would eat those little baby red potatoes.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, and then the rice bars and stuff like that, which are just great. So okay, yeah, cool. Oh, David gets his theme. Packfiller Dr. Masters. Asking Dr. David.
You have to wait for the knock because otherwise I'm not in the room.
The knock was good. The knock is good. Yeah.
Today I walked into a room without knocking and it felt wrong.
Really?
Yeah. Just going to throw that out.
You say, did you walk in and go, let's get her done?
I walked in and I said, oh my God, I'm sorry, I forgot to knock.
What are we gonna do?
What are we going to do?
I literally apologized.
Everybody?
You got some kind of disease or something?
Everybody? This one is an interesting one. Salt. Okay, Paul, I'm sure we were both born and raised thinking salt is horrible. Table salt is bad for you. It's limit salt intake, and then all of a sudden athletes need it, and it's like, so wait a minute, how much is too much? What's the proper method of ingesting, and what's the importance of doing so? Why is salt good or bad? And if we need it, how do we ingest it properly?
Yeah,
I love the salt shaker in my house. I'm not gonna lie.
I just want to preface for anybody that listens that's medical, it's a dangerous thing when you ask an internist about sodium.
Okay.
It's like a known thing.
You have 48 seconds.
Oh. Just tell me. Just
42.
Skip. Okay.
41.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, so when we say salt, typically people are thinking of table salt, sodium chloride, but, electrolytes in cycling, it's sodium chloride, magnesium, potassium, it's, maybe zinc a little bit as well. These are electrolytes that are important for maintaining hydration, but also cellular function. So the bad rap that sodium gets is related to people with heart disease and high blood pressure, because it can raise your blood pressure.
Retains more water.
Yeah, it helps you retain water. Water follows salt is a easy way to put it. So if you are drinking water and not drinking electrolytes or salt, sodium, potassium, chloride, magnesium, all of those, that water goes into your stomach, into your blood, but it doesn't necessarily pass into the tissues. And so it's kind of like empty hydration. So salt is incredibly important in maintaining your hydration status, but also cellular function. You can't produce ATP, which is the essential energy unit of the cell. You can't produce that without an adequate amount of sodium and potassium. You can't even literally everything in your body is dependent on your balance of sodium and potassium, of positive and negative salt ions. So it is important to, when you're exercising in particular, your cooling mechanism is by putting salt on the skin and pulling water out with it, so you can have evaporative cooling to cool your body down. That's why you lose electrolytes during exercise. So you have to replace those. To be honest, it's different for everybody. You've probably seen the person on the ride who's caked in white salt.
Yeah.
They're going to need to replete more. It depends on your body surface area, how much you're putting out, how much you're sweating, the intensity of your exercise. But I think as a general rule of thumb, if you're exercising more than an hour, you need to have something in your bottles. You can't just drink water. It's not gonna do enough to keep you hydrated. They've looked at power output in people related to hydration status, both in cycling and other sports as well, rowing and running. A 2% loss in body water. So if you think you're 60% water, say you're 100 kilo, that's big. What's normal? 70?
Yeah, 70. Yeah.
70 kilos. So
for cyclists, athletes, probably.
Yeah,
Endurance athletes.
Can we do pounds?
You guys, I'm
Can we do
sitting right-
pounds?
Yeah, please.
Well, but
Okay.
it's kilo per ounce.
We're just
Right.
going to do pounds here for a
Yeah.
second. Say you're 150 pounds and you're 60% water. That's, 90 pounds of you is water. If you lose 2% of that, so, 1.8 pounds. If you lose 1.8 pounds, which when you go on a bike ride, does anybody else weigh themselves before and after?
Always.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best moment of my week.
How much can you
When I
lose?
get back,
Getting
when
closer.
I'm 3 pounds lighter.
Getting closer.
How much can you lose in a bike ride?
3 to 4 pounds.
Okay.
I've lost 3 to 4 pounds. in
Anybody
bike
else?
rides.
Yeah, probably 2 is typical for me.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm okay. Anybody else?
3-ish.
Dude, I've lost 8 pounds. I don't know what you guys are doing.
Well,
my God.
I've had
literally
days
lost
where
8
I've
pounds.
lost
But
that
average
much,
is
but-
probably,
yeah.
like 2 to
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
You know what? If I came home from a ride and I lost 8 pounds, I would never step on the scale again because my scale has memory, and it would be just like,
You'd be like,
that.
that's it.
So then
Yeah.
in your memory, you're like, I am.
That's what I
this
am.
lighter.
forever.
Well,
So-
getting back to your point,
Yeah.
but that for me, I probably lost more before I weighed, but my races were 90, 80 miles. I was losing more sodium. Now my training rides are 2.5, 3 hours, so I'm not losing the sodium. That's the thing.
But what I'm getting at is that loss of body water, that just 2 pounds in your average person correlates with like a 5 to 6% loss in your power.
Wow.
So you think about how
Shit.
tired you are at the end of a ride.
Mm-hmm.
You can attribute 5% of that to the fact that nobody's hydrating well.
Yeah.
I mean, these pros are, but we're not.
No,
That's got me thinking that, like with some of these long gravel races coming up, I've got a hydration pack, which I've got to actually test. But instead of just filling it with water, I should put water plus a little something in it.
I put flavorless salt in my water pack.
You could even just put like literally table salt in it.
Or this is a plug for a local company, Light Balance, LYTE.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is pure sodium, potassium, magnesium, and chloride.
Yeah.
There's no sugar, so if you put it in a backpack, it's not going to mold.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's something.
Dude, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Wow. Sometimes
It
you
was
sound
longer
really
than 40
smart
seconds.
So-
So
there. It was way
Fuck
too long.
off.
It was way too long.
but
They've looked at your difference in time trial times with anyways.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's lots of really cool hydration and cycling.
so next week's question, continue on salt.
Yes,
Give him
please.
another
Yeah.
40 seconds.
I should.
Yeah.
Cool down time with Jackson Bulger. And I love these. That was my endorsement.
Me
Nice.
too.
So, and I'm not mentioning any specific moments, but I have noticed lately that I have been facing the words when it comes to my racing. And I've just not found myself in like bad positions, but I've just found like conversations going on during races. And it's an interesting topic for me that I haven't really faced before. And I face this a lot in soccer, and what I'm saying is like, tensions are rising. We're all kind of talking with each other. But I face this a lot in soccer, and it was an interesting thing for me to figure out because I didn't know, like, are people actually mad at me, or is this just like the moment,
Yeah.
And so my question is, do you feel like when you start racing, you have an alternative attitude that comes out? I know I'm interested to hear our answers. My answer is, I think this year I've been more confident in myself to just like shut it down. I think just like having conversations arise where they like people are saying something to me or something, it's just like boom, done. Because that's I don't need that. And also it doesn't really affect me because I have been called some pretty terrible things whilst playing soccer before.
Yeah.
So I feel like my skin's pretty thick. But what do you feel like you have an alternative attitude when it comes to racing your bike? Sam, we'll start with you.
Such an asshole. I am such an asshole. I am the first
When
person
racing
to-
your bike was his
when
question.
racing my
no,
bike.
just when you
Yeah.
wake up
Yeah,
is not the
It
question.
just
Yeah.
sorry. So it
Every
gets
breath.
my typical assholery gets worse once I start racing, a lot more. And I'm just like I don't think I do well with shutting it down. I'm the first person to like rip someone a new asshole. Like if somebody were to be a dick to me, I think I would just see black and go sideways. So yeah, no, I don't think that I do a very good job of that.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, Paul, how do you feel?
I think I've learned a lot from my father. Being a fighter pilot, I've talked about
Yeah.
that before,
Yeah.
but they get in heated situations and stuff like that. And he always told me that the calmer way is you make the best decisions when you're reacting. There's a way you have a situation. It's kind of a yoga thing too. When you come upon a situation, you can either react or respond. And I'd rather respond than react.
I agree, yeah.
And so that's how I try and approach. Like somebody flips me out. Of course, somebody's flipping me shit. My natural reaction is to, but I'm wasting energy.
Mhm.
And to me, it's like now I'm going to take that energy and prove this person wrong
Yeah.
by kicking the shit out of that guy
Mhm.
in a race.
Yeah.
So that's how
Well,
I do
that's-
it.
that's-
So
Interesting.
that's how I learned that from my dad.
I like that.
So I used to play soccer as well. That was like my main thing until
Yeah.
until cycling. I think I was way more aggressive as a soccer player than a cyclist. As a cyclist, I don't really want to hurt anybody, and so.
Well, yeah, the 8th graders coming
Yeah.
in yet.
But as a soccer player, it was definitely
Ride
like,
that little shit into a stump.
Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
Big old
He's
chunk of
just a
assault.
kid. The
Yeah.
parents will make more.
Shatter his hip. Make sure he doesn't ride
In
a fucking
his
bike again.
career, David's over here like
This is satire.
I was.
Yeah,
Everybody,
yeah,
we
yeah,
are
yeah.
joking.
Yeah,
I was gonna get him a girlfriend. That was my plan. But you guys,
There you go.
that was
the end
such
of
a
that.
better response.
Come here. You ever tried bourbon?
Yeah.
Say, girl.
David hears like right before the race, I just saw that kid pound a glizzy.
Yeah.
And David's like, I'm about to go out of the gates hot. You know, he's like, I'm going to make him puke it back up. David takes the most, like, you know, non-aggressive route. Anyway, continue.
Anyway,
David.
continue.
But in soccer, like, I definitely had this mentality of, like, when people were, you know, when they would, words would fly or, like, they did something, you know, overly aggressive. My first response, I think, was more along the lines of Paul's, where I was like, don't let this get to you. You will be a worse player. Like, you will do worse. You need to take a deep breath. You can fuck them up later. But do it in a way that there's no whistles blown and they just look stupid.
No witnesses.
Well, everybody's watching is
Yeah,
the goal,
yeah.
actually.
No, I
But-
mean, you kill him in the parking lot, you do with a shiv. Prison.
Well, yeah, exactly. Everybody's watching, and you did nothing wrong. And I think it's actually, I think I used to be incredibly vindictive, but like in a very slow, calculated way, where I would never let people get under my skin in the moment,
Yeah.
but I would always get revenge. So,
But the
by
key
the
part
end of the
is
game,
always
Pull out
get
your
revenge.
little black book.
yeah, by the end of the game, there was always revenge. Or honestly, there were some people that it was like by the end of the season, there was always revenge. So,
Well,
Yeah.
can't say vindictive without saying dick.
you know, that's right.
Lots of it around here.
My sport was cycling. My sport, before cycling, it was ski racing, and I was never overly competitive in that. So that is where my teeth were cut. And I've talked, hours about the inner asshole, and I struggle with that still to this day. And I think part of my battle with the inner asshole, it might be why I'm not at the front of the peloton in some races anymore, because I'm tired of that character. I'm tired of that person. Sometimes it's kind of like the Hulk, it just escapes, and next thing I know, I'm screaming and I'm running around like I did last year, and acting like a complete baby at a bike race, and I don't want to do that anymore, and so I have a hard time with that. Jackson, I know this stems from an incident that came from last week. I'm not going to mention any of the incidents, the moment, the rider, anything like that, but I saw somebody yelling at you, and my Papa Bear instinct was to ride up beside that guy and
Punch him in the mouth.
No, just verbally bring him to tears before the end of the race. Just like, basically, insult him, his entire family, and everything he's ever stood for. And that's the kind of person I am. Volume comes easily to me, and that's something that Paul, you talked about staying calm and stuff like that. I grew up in the era of Bernard fucking Hinault, where it was just like, you will do this, you will shut the fuck up, and I'm going to go up the road. That kind of thing. That was my hero, and so that was the persona I developed in bike racing, and it's hard for me to transition from that. And I definitely don't want to be the loud guy who's getting dropped. It's like going, I am the king. Yeah, whatever, king. Piss off, and everybody's ahead of the road. So it's something that and I'm trying very hard to be the person that just stays calm. In the race last weekend, a guy got upset with me because I was blocking. I wasn't, because you guys were up the road, and he turned around and he was like, come on. And my instinct was to make a smart ass comment, but instead I actually said,
That must have been.
dude, I'm sorry. I have 3 guys up the road. And,
Wow, you've matured. Maybe I'll be at that level like in a few years.
it's boring as shit. Don't do
Yeah,
it.
all right. I'm gonna keep living your
be a
dream.
dick. Be a dick.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's an interesting, and I noticed this kind of topic came up a little bit too. I think the mental side of it all is also very interesting in that you can work your way under somebody else's skin to a point where they're out of that race now. I talked about this last year, how when I touched a hip, somebody got really mad at me.
Yeah.
And I knew in that moment that person's race is done.
Mm-hmm.
But I find that a very fascinating point. And then, also just staying calm. I think that also kind of is a way to get under somebody else's skin. They want that big reaction. They want a little something from you. But when you're calm, it's like, oh, I didn't get what I wanted out of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just an interesting part of our sport. And I also, last thing I'll say
No.
is, I have personally become the guy over the years after soccer and everything that once that stuff ends, what happened there is over. I don't really give a shit about you or about what you said to me.
You.
Yeah. I don't give a shit about what you said to
Yeah.
me on there. That stuff's done. It happened on the racetrack, and we can go walk away and we're still people. But I think that's also a skill that is trained over years. So
I do agree with that. I think like race emotions are heightened, and like
We
All
should do
good
the
after.
soccer thing where we all, because I agree. I think like soccer was
Yeah.
good. You always shake hands, you look people in the eye, and you just tell them a good game. whether
We
you
do
win
that.
or lose.
You do that in a lot of situations after a race. You
We
walk
talk
by and
about
go,
it
hey,
after.
man, good race. Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
Thanks for kicking my teeth in.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
a chance. Yeah, not everybody does it, but you have a chance. In soccer, it was forced.
It was.
But that is a valuable thing.
shake their hand.
Yeah, that is the thing. You didn't always want to.
Good
Yeah.
game, good game, good game, good game. Fuck you, good
Yeah.
game, good game, good
Yeah.
game. Yeah, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's been.
Spit on
Oh,
your hand.
spit! I put my hand down my butt crack.
Yeah.
Jesus. Fart on it.
And there's Paul's white trash moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Thank you for humoring me on that. It's been on my
No,
mind.
that's good. No, that's good. And to I don't.
Yeah.
See, I want to strike out at the person who did it because I saw the whole thing, and the
And I
other
handled
person
it.
was overreacting. You did handle it, and
That's
I
it.
just wanted to call out the person on a podcast because it's it's petty.
I
and
know
it's
the
hidden.
But we
situation.
can't.
He lost.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
He didn't finish.
There we do.
But we'll stick a fork in it.
He's done.
It's done.
D-U-N.
It's
It's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. You guys, I have a final K, but it's going to require too long of a response, so I'm not going to do the
Oh.
final K tonight. Okay?
That's
So
why
that-
the shorter outro.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we did this one. Hey, everybody, thank you for listening to the show. Be sure and subscribe to the show and our YouTube channel. Pop us a review. We've got great reviews on iTunes, but I want more. I want more.
Give us more.
Give us some. Give
5
us some. I
stars
think it'd be
only.
fun. Nah, you can do whatever you want.
Only.
Yeah. Only.
Yeah.
Only good.
I'm worth it.
I want a happy ribbon. You guys, thanks for being here. I love having a full house.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
We got to think of something for 500.
Yes.
All right.
Wow,
Beer.
that